here. So what we do every single week is we go 15 minutes with a 15-minute marketing live. So the first 10 minutes, we talk deep into a specific topic around marketing. And the next 5 minutes, sometimes we go a little bit over, we answer your questions specifically. But before we jump into that, I want to introduce Neil and why we initially asked Neil to come on. So Neil, I kind of shared this story briefly with you when I reached out to you through our DMs, but Lucas and I, we've kind of created a relationship together on Instagram over the last year or so. Yeah. And just really loved the stuff that Lucas was doing, vice versa. We jived really, really well. And so we started talking about, you know, I think one time I had mentioned something, or he had mentioned about the marketing school podcast that you and Eric Sue do. Yeah. And I was like, dude, it's my favorite podcast because nobody's figured out short-tailed podcasts yet. And these guys have it dialed where it's like every single day you learn something like that, and you can do it like on a bathroom break, you know, and there's nothing better than it. And so as we kind of further discussed, it was like, dude, what if we did a live and we took their same model, but we did it on IG rather than a podcast? And that's kind of where this started. And I think this is our 30th episode. So we've been doing it for half a year. And
half a year, that's good.
Yeah, and look at the audience. You know, the audience, it was really fun. The audience started super small, and it's grown so big, and we love it. It's a blast. And so we are so stoked to have you, dude. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you. You should actually change it from being on IG to being on all the platforms at the same time, right? Because you can do it. And then
that's the next
audience
step.
Probably like 4 or 5x.
That's the next step.
And that's the kind of stuff we love about marketing school, those quick practical tips, those things we can apply. So guys, again, marketing school podcast. I love it because I can insert it into my daily routine super easily, right? Like, you know, during times when we're commuting, like Trevor said, even if you're like in the washroom or something, doesn't matter. Whatever you are doing, you can insert this podcast. It just gets you thinking. It gets you adding things into your strategy and your content. Every single time, if I hit a content block, I throw this thing on. It takes 5 to 7 minutes of my time, and I'm inspired. I'm ready to go. So that's beautiful. Where we'll see that this echoes out in the format and what we're about to do with our lives. So what are we talking about today, Trevor?
Okay, let me first, what I'll do is I'm just going to, Neil, try not to smile when I do this. Try not to blush when I do this. I'm going to give Neil's little like rap sheet here for a second because we just got to do it because this guy is the OG. Neil, like you. I've been in marketing for 10 years. I found you early on in my career, like very early on in my career, and you're a massive inspiration for who I am today as a marketer. So like, this is super cool for me. So we got to like hype you up a little bit. Okay. So Neil owns a digital agency called Neil Patel Digital. What they're doing is they're working with world-class brands on their digital strategies and then helping them execute that. All right. He also is the creator of Uber Suggest. In this community, Neil, everybody loves that tool. So I had to call that out. Like everybody loves that tool. So creator of Uber Suggest. What else? I mean, he's got over 4 million visitors a month on his blog, the Marketing School podcast, over 1 million listeners per month. And just, he's all over social media. What I like when I think of Neil, the word omnipresence is what comes to mind. And it's absolutely beautiful what he's done. So everybody, like, listen up. I will be posting this on IGTV. So it will be around forever. So let's go ahead. Let's talk the format. Today we're talking about how businesses can leverage social media today. And really what we're going to do is we're going to do a little round robin. Actually, Lucas, why don't you tell what we're going to do while I pin the comment of what we're going to do, right?
Sounds good. So we have 6 killer points for you guys, 6 different ways that you can, for a business or your brand, really leverage social media. We're going to be looking at quite a few different platforms, content formats. Between the 3 of us, we're going to be rotating through. I was thinking what we do, let's throw in the triangle there. So I'll start when we're ready in a second. I'll say my first. Why don't we have Trevor, you go next, and Neil, if you want to go third, and then we'll each just say one of our points, give a brief pointer, and then we will continue on from there. We like to keep it super quick, super practical.
Cool.
Love it. All right, you ready for this, Neil?
I am.
All right, I got a timer right here. I'm pressing play, all right? You guys ready for this? Let's do it. Okay, Lucas, hit it, dude.
All right. So the big thing I want to start with is just leveraging the low-hanging fruit opportunities on social media, right? We know that there are so many platforms. We know that there are so many formats. It can be overwhelming, right? But if you really listen and look at the places that have those growth opportunities, you can really take that traffic and put it out to your other platforms and get your brand or business out there. Right now, my big one, because I like to keep it practical, here's something I want people to try. I want you to check out Pinterest. They were called Pinterest story pins. They just changed them to Pinterest idea pins, I believe. But for context, I have my large following here on Instagram. Pinterest, I have 3 followers on Pinterest, I think. I just started it. I have 3 followers. And what I've just been doing is taking my Instagram carousels. I go in Canva, I click resize, I turn them into story-sized idea pins, and I put them up as idea pins on Pinterest. In the last 3 weeks I've been on there, my first 3 weeks, I have, let's say, I believe 7,500 monthly views already to my Pinterest page. Quite a few of those are converting to clicks where people are checking out my Instagram profile from there. Other thing, low-hanging fruit, we all know, look at Reels, right? Reels are a great opportunity to get that traffic in areas that we've typically been missing on Instagram. So guys, there are tons of opportunities out there. Do the research, look at what's kind of giving you a faster opportunity, and funnel those people where you want them to see you.
I love it. Super, super solid. Okay, I'm going to jump into my next one. But before I do it, we kind of forgot to mention this. Everybody, we're answering questions the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So Neil, you're the one who's right over the question bubble. Point down for me. Give me a point right here. There it is, all right? In that question bubble, get all of your questions in there, okay? Because if we're going so fast, we're not going to be able to answer them. The only way we're answering your questions is if it's in the bubble, okay? All right. Number 2, all right, which is my first point, I want to talk about user-generated content and social proof. So right now, what I'm doing with my businesses is we leverage social media and we try to get other people. Our goal is to try to get as many people to share about us as possible. And this does multiple things for us. 1, it increases our reach. 2, what it does is it gets us actual content for us to use. So rather than us having to go out and create a lot of content, we can pull this user-generated content and put it out on our platform as a brand and a business. And what that does really well for us is that is our highest converting content by far, because it's more authentic. It's not the business pushing that kind of stuff, right? So for example, the audience knows this really well. I'm one of the partners over at a company, it's a diaper bag company called Fawn Design. So we're constantly trying to get other people to utilize our products. And when they utilize our products, we then go showcase how they use them, and people love to see that kind of stuff. The other thing that I love about it is that it also offers, what UGC does is it also gives you social proof as well. So social proof, it's just showing that other people like your products, what they're saying about it. I love scrolling through our comments. So when you post something that's very it starts a conversation, we'll take those comments and we'll repost those comments of what people are saying about the brand, about the product. And it's such a free, easy, organic way to get other people talking about you. So that's the second one. That's my first one.
All right. So my first one, which would be number 3, is go live like we are doing right now. So a lot of people, they're starting off on social media and they're like, we don't have tons of followers. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, they're all trying to compete with live television. I'm not talking about Netflix. I'm talking about live television, keeping up with the Kardashians. And they want that audience. So what are they doing? If you go live on one of these social platforms, they'll showcase it to more people than your fans, because they want people to be sticking all the time on Facebook or whatever social network you're on. So just go live. And when you go live, whether you have 2 followers or 1,000 followers, it doesn't matter. More than your friends will see the content. And when you're going live, talk about your products or your services. So if I have a marketing agency like NP Digital, I would do a live on, let's say, marketing tips and SEO, and then be like, at the end, I'm like, look, if you just want my company to do the marketing for you, go check out npdigital.com. Sure. Or if I'm selling diaper products, I would end up showcasing some really cool things that you can do with diapers, or make it where your kids don't make a mess, or how the diapers last longer, or you don't have to spend money on as many diapers. And be like, by the way, if you want those, we're running a special promo. You can find them out at xyz.com/social, and you can run your deal there. But that's a simple 100%. Way to get more sales.
Love that. And look at this amazing opportunity that came about from going live, right? Trevor and I have consistently been showing up for you guys, and it stands out. It's a way for us to stay top of mind, and again, to get these amazing opportunities. So thank you for that, Neil. Me hopping on for the next round of things to go. I'm going to extend into that with just pure video content in general, guys. Video content is how you're going to be known, liked, and trusted. I say this all the time, right? In a place where, you know, we do have tons of ways to communicate in graphic design, communicate in words and things like that. Anybody can put something down on words. Some people might believe you, some people won't. But the thing that gets trust is when you hear someone actually speak it, right? When someone is talking like me with my hands, you can sense my passion. You can sense the things that I'm saying. You really can see how see-through my points are and my confidence in what I'm delivering or what I'm saying I'm going to deliver. So guys, hop on video content. It's also the best content, in my opinion, for repurposing. So like we've said, you can show up on the most platforms that are out there. I find that a video that you record for LinkedIn can easily be put on, you know, maybe snipped as a reel. An IGTV like this can be clipped and snipped and put all over YouTube, everywhere you want. I find it is the format that is the easiest to repurpose. My thing every week is InShot. InShot is a super easy platform to just snip. Okay, I'm going to change this to TikTok dimensions. Yep. I'm going to change this to Reels dimensions. All right, now I need vertical. Let me get that out for YouTube. Super easy. So video content.
Yeah, not to mention you can start, I mean, Neil, you do this great, right? It's just perfect for seed content. Not to mention you can start writing blog posts about that. You can, I mean, it can go across everything. So I love that one. It's funny because like video content, everybody's been talking about it for years, yet it still hasn't quite, people still aren't doing it the way they need to be doing it. So yeah, I love it.
Exactly.
So perfect one. Well, I think this one kind of like my second one, and which would be the fifth one. And we're making impeccable timing, by the way. This is perfect, guys. So the fifth one is building a community. So what's really, really awesome about social media is it invites your customer to be a part of your brand's daily life. Lives like this, great way. I'm glad Neil started with that one because that's such a great way to start building a community. It's the way that Lucas and I have built a really good community with each other and our audiences. You know, utilizing stories is an awesome way to talk one-on-one to your audience, to your customer base, and to build that, right? There's no other way that you can literally talk to the head of a company besides like outside of social media, right? You're not going to be able to email somebody and do that. You're not going to be able to get their phone number oftentimes and do that. But on social media, you could have that potential to literally talk to these people that you couldn't even dream of talking about. So you can build a massive, massive community. What I like to think of is, to me, business, it's about how do I get in front of everybody in my niche. Community is about the one. That's what I always love to think. So love community. That's my fifth and final one. Neil, let's pass the last one over to you, my man.
All right. Last but not least, number 6, it's all about the comments. The way to get the most amount of play on social media is getting more comments. Everyone thinks like, oh, how do I get more likes, more followers? How do I get more play? It actually comes down to comments. It's easy to like. It's easy to share. It takes a lot of work to leave a comment. So what I want you to do is go hit up as many of your friends as possible that you know that are on the network or people within your space. The bigger following count they have, the better. And whenever you post, literally the sooner you post, the better. Have them leave a comment that can encourage more comments or engagement. For example, if I had a video post like this on, social marketing media tips, I may have someone leave a comment of like, but wait, Neil, how many comments do you think or how many posts should someone be posting on Instagram or LinkedIn per week? Because a lot of people have that question. You're going to get a lot of likes, thumbs up on that comment. And a lot of people are going to reply, be like, yeah, I have the same question. Anything that creates more engagement in the comments is the easiest way to go viral. And the way to just give it a kickstart is by having people that leave comments, and you can help them with the text. You don't want them to leave comments like good work, yes, I agree, because none of that encourages more comments, more engagement. You want them to have leave comments that can either create controversy or create question, or something that's question related that can have people answer it. And if they're going to use the controversy, just make sure they're not doing something that's too extreme where it makes you look bad or polarizes.
Yeah, and looping that back to Instagram too, we have an amazing feature in the pinned comments. You can now strategically have that pinned. So even though it's probably gonna be at the top anyways, because it'll get all those likes and all that it'll become a thread, you can now pin it, right? So you're extending the conversation right there. People see it right on top and they want to keep it going, and they're gonna feed into that engagement over and over and over and over again.
So good. Dudes, this has been so good. Such fire here. We have a massive amount of questions. We could dive into all of our topics for so much longer, but let's jump into the questions. And Neil, is that all right with you if we jump into these things and just get going? All right. Okay, guys.
So again, guys, make sure they're in the question box. I'm sure Trevor has tons to comb through already. There we go.
Here's a good one. Neil, I'd love for your response on this one. How do you do a live on all platforms at the same time, like Neil said at the beginning? So for those of you who didn't see this, Neil had said you guys got to start streaming this live on all the platforms, not just IG.
Yeah, there's tools. I think like one of them's like Restream. There's quite a few of them out there that just simulcast you out to everywhere.
Yeah, hitting the most audience, getting out to the most people, right? So that's our goal, Trevor. We got to discuss that, man. We need a plan.
I love it, dude. Let's see here. This is a good one. It kind of stretches a little bit outside the topic, but I love it just because Neil's here, right? Question for Neil. 3 tips for younger 20-year-old you. And what's your way when having burnout? Let's just stick with the 3 tips. 3 quick tips.
Tip number 1, work for someone else first. Learn from their mistakes, so then that way, when you go and do your own thing, you don't make as many mistakes. Number 2, network as early as possible. People don't raise money by just building a big company or pitching. A lot of money is transferred just purely through relationships. Tip number 3, it's all about media. The bigger audience you build, whether it's personal or corporate, you can use it to promote anything. And I'll even answer the burnout one. You usually get burned out if you don't love what you're doing. If you love what you're doing, it won't seem like work and you probably won't get burned out as much.
Love it.
That's awesome.
Super solid. Neil, what's your favorite social media platform?
LinkedIn.
And favorite type of content?
LinkedIn. Reason being is B2B, you won't get the biggest following, but you know what? They can spend a lot of money on it. Favorite type of content is text-based. It's easier to scale and produce in mass quantity.
For sure. What's neat about LinkedIn, what a lot of people don't realize is there's such an opportunity for people on LinkedIn because, in my opinion, the majority of the content is crap on LinkedIn. It's other people just like saying the same thing and like just stuff that's not very new. I think you have a really great opportunity to stand out in a sea of everybody being the exact same, in my opinion. So I think it's a great platform.
The reason why a lot of it's crap is I read a stat. I don't know how accurate it is, but I think it is pretty accurate. They say only 3% of members continually post content.
Wow.
So they don't have
interesting.
That's why it's easier to do well on LinkedIn when you have good content.
They reward the consistency game for sure over there.
Yep. Love it. This is a great question. How do you manage to be in so many platforms at the same time, Neil?
I use the same content over and over again. It makes it easy. Everyone is like, oh, you know, my content, because it's on TikTok, is vertical. I can't post it on Instagram because my part of my head will be cut off unless they click on it. Who cares? Let it be cut off. Post it. You know, the other day I posted a video where part of my head was cut off when you look at my wall, but nonetheless, it got more views.
Yeah.
Perfection is overrated.
Yeah.
What people don't dude, I love that. Perfection is it's the killer of just getting started, right? Not only that, but like nowadays it's like that's where Neil like really succeeds, guys, is his reach is unreal because of that, like what I said at the very beginning, the omnipresence. He's everywhere. All right. And so you don't like, there's probably not a single person on this live who hadn't heard of you yet. You know what I'm saying? So super awesome question. And I love the response here. All right, let's see here. I should have been scrolling through some of these, but I was super interested in I'm super interested in your responses, Neil. I apologize. Let's see here. Some of these questions are the same. That's why I'm kind of having to go through here.
And like we say to you guys, like with the comments and engagement, that even ties back to lives, right? Like we have had these comments flying the entire way through. I would wager, you know, obviously it already was, but this live is definitely at the front of the queue for that the live queue on Instagram because of those hearts flying up the side, because of the comments coming through. So shout out to the amazing audience this entire way through.
This is another good one just because it pings. Oh boy, there's our timer, dude.
Timer. So let's wrap
15
up with
minutes.
this one.
Let's wrap up one more question, okay? Do comments work for small accounts? Neil, do you want to jump on this one because you kind of jumped into it?
Your comments work for small accounts. The smaller the account, the better it works. Yeah. So get as many as possible.
Explain that. Will you explain that a little bit when you say that? Why would a smaller account work bigger than a bigger account?
Okay, so if you're a smaller account and people left comments on your posts, because you have very little followers, it's going to spread way more than if you had a bigger account and someone else left a comment. At the same time, if you're saying, hey, I only have small accounts that can leave comments depending on how you're asking the question on my post, will it still create the virality? Yes, as long as it's engaging comments, they'll look at it. And these algorithms are smart. They're looking at it percentage-wise. So it's like, this person doesn't have a lot of followers, but they left a comment and a ton of people are engaging. Something here is happening that's really good, and we should show it to more people.
For sure. I love it. Guys, this has been such an awesome live. Neil, thank you so much for being a part of this. I hope that we can do it again. We really appreciate it. If you're not following Neil already, guys, go follow him right now. I promise you, you will not regret it. In the meantime, everybody, share this, all right? Everybody take a screenshot of us. Neil, let's see those pearly whites, dude. Everybody get a smile. All right, share this because I want you guys to blow it up, all right? Blow it up, tag us all. Welcome to the 15-Minute Marketing Live. I will repost this. Neil, thank you. Lucas, as always, thank you. Audience, blessings. You guys are so awesome. Have a good weekend.
Take care, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
For being here.
See ya.